John, 3-0 win in the end. Probably every season of weather I've ever seen in one game, and the bizarrest first goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was ironic. It was Josh Meakin sort of got there, and it was handball on the line. That's part and parcel of football, and a strange decision. But I'll take the goal, 1-0, and I felt we were good for our victory. Some of the football that we played, the way we controlled it, very good. And the chances that Dundee United got were self-inflicted. Giving the ball away in cheap areas where we need to look after it, and we just says that to them at half time. But a lot of them, you can see there's a cup final place up for grabs, and a lot of them have certainly staked their claim to get in that starting 11, and absolutely delighted for them. Everyone concerned at Inverness, for the supporters right through, we're always been punching above our weight, small provincial club, and to have this kind of season, Europe for the first time in its history, Scottish Cup final to look forward to, and then the performance today, just to finish off at home, absolutely fantastic. The emergence of young Ryan Christie, and most important for me, is the hard work we put on the coaching pitch and see it coming to fruition in terms of passing the ball, and some of the stuff we played today was exceptional. Give us a quick pitch, that's when we're at our best.
We were saying that when we were looking at the game, just beyond half time there, thinking Ross Draper had the ball attached to him with a magnet at times today when he was just carving everything up straight into Greg Tansey, and it all builds from there. You're right, it looks great. It
looks good, and I just think Big Edwards gave us that focal point as well, and as I said, Danny Williams just found himself sitting, just need to rest him up a wee bit, and my biggest dilemma now is what do we do next week against Celtic? You go into a Celtic game, the boys know they've got a Scottish Cup final next again. If they go into a tackle, they get hurt, they get a straight red card, and they miss it. And that's why I'm sitting looking and say, I'm in a dilemma right at this moment in time. And there'll still be one or two players that I'm hoping that we can play there. And really, so I say to myself, hey, you can go and do a job. Because one thing we'll have to do is we'll have to pick the right team to beat Falkirk. That's going to be our hardest game in the season. And my message to the supporters, don't get caught up in all this hype that we're favourites and all that stuff. Yep, we're favourites, we're the SPL team, but that spoils your day. Just go down, support the team and cheer the team on, as linked it's the two teams are earned the right to be there and we're equal. And if we go and do that and get that, because you feel it coming off the terracing, sure. When you're favourite, you get that exasperation. Never had that against Celtic. It was underdog support, sure. And it was that wave, and they have to play their part. And if we do that, and we go and express ourselves and go and play, then hopefully we can bring that cup back to the Highlands. That would be absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing.
Hand on heart, did you see any of this when you signed up?
I knew, because you always keep you pride yourself on what's happening in football. If somebody mentions a player to you, do you know anything about that player? Quick as a flash, yeah. You just, even if it's a player in England, you go, I know that player used to play, let's just say Scunthorpe moved on to Millwall or blah blah blah. And it's the same up in Scotland. You always know what's going on in Scotland and players and what they've got, and playing against them like Tansey. I always remember Tansey.
Sure.
And so bringing him back to the club was a no-brainer for me. And you always knew the emergency Shinnie and what he had and all that. But I have to say, the boys have been absolutely outstanding when I've come up here. And it's just, listen, Dave, it's been easy. They deserve all the credit. All I need to do is set a standard and a guidance and let them go and get on with it and police ourselves and demand off each other. One thing I will say, there's one or two of them been sitting on the bench most part of the season, and they're good enough to go and play in the team. So if one or two of them move on and decide to move on elsewhere, then I've no problems with these guys coming in and starting.
Sure. I think as well, one guy that I really felt was great today, has been great since he came back, and was Ryan Essen, because he couldn't have seen all this coming.
No, and I think the last time Essen was possible, I might get this wrong, but this is me using that football knowledge again. I think Jim Leighton might have got injured, and I don't think S got the chance to go in goals in the cup final for Aberdeen. There's something about that, it springs it up. So this is his chance, and touch wood, we come through injury free next week unscathed, and we can really start preparing and looking forward to the Scottish Cup final.
So do you kind of look upon next week as a bit of a bonus game, really, and whatever happens,
well,
happens?
I'm in a dilemma. I think what kind of team do we put out there, and if it was me, would I go into tackles, would I be fully committed, and can I put teams out there, because we've still got a substitutes bench, can I put players out there that say, hey, no matter what, I want in that start 11, if I'm not, I'm making sure I'm on that bench, and because they've all got a part to play,
sure.
That's for sure. And we just need to look at the semi-final the heroic semi-final against Hearts, where we were down to 9 men, had to duck and dive, shuffle with pack, players were coming off the bench, left, right and centre, and they all played their part, and it might, if it comes down to that, they all have to be ready to go. So I'm just absolutely delighted for everyone concerned in the club, and most importantly the supporters that they've had this kind of season, and I'll say to them, enjoy it, really enjoy it, and really let it sink in, because in football I've always learned that there's more lows than highs, but when you get the highs, make sure you enjoy it and appreciate it.
I hope they listen to you, John. Thanks very much.